All right, so we're going to go over the HMI screen for the Pro Series Recirculating Pump Filler. When you fire up your machine, this is going to be the first screen that you come across. It's going to be some basic layout information. You're going to have your total production count, which is going to be at the top here. You can press and hold on the digits, and it'll reset to 0 if you want to change it at the beginning or end of your shifts. The CPM is going to be displayed over here, which would be your containers per minute that was calculated based off of the last run. The in-feed count will be populated here as well, so that'll be the containers counted as they're coming into the machine. And your cycle status will be just below that, and followed by sensor status down here, which gives you a quick option to see any active sensors as they're working or not. And these will light up green if they're being blocked currently. To the right over here, you got your login tab. I can click on here, and if I'm using login features, I can log in under any different operator levels that I want, operator, operator plus, or operator full. Those all give you varied access, which is laid out through the manual, giving you what's available for each step. The passwords are all supplied to you separately when you purchase the machine. You'll just enter your password here, and it'll pop in telling you you're good to go. You can also, under operator full, change passwords. So any of your operator full employees can change passwords for the two lower levels. If I go to return to main, back on this main screen, I got a functioning QR code. If I scan this with my smartphone on my camera, then it's going to take me directly to the support pages for the recirculating pump filler, where there'll be a bunch of videos, current manuals, and any information that you need. You can also enter support tickets and parts requests from there. If I have any alarms come up, they'll all pop up right here. So if I were to push my e-stop, it's going to populate telling me I have an e-stop control power fault. It also populates and tells me that my drip tray interlock is set, so that when I reset my alarm, it'll wait until I push this button or I start a cycle to extend my drip tray so I don't accidentally crash anything. So if I click anywhere on the screen by my alarms, it'll take me to my actual alarm page, which will give me some more information. Throughout a number of the pages, you'll see these little tips bubbles. If I click on those, it'll pop up and give me some more tips on anything related to that screen. So this will give me any alarms that are possible in this machine and some common solves to each problem. So now if I clear my ESET, you see that goes away. Go back to my main screen again, I would reset my drip tray, and I'm ready to roll. So along the bottom here, you'll see a couple of buttons. The cycle start switch, this will start and stop my automatic cycles, and the rest of these are all master switches. So these will overrule anything that's turned on or turned on anywhere else in the screens. So if I turn my fill heads to off, they're off, no matter whether they're turned on anywhere else or not. Same thing with the rest. So something that's a little different on the recirculating pump filler that the other machines don't necessarily have is this fill pumps button, because all of the fill pumps are toggled together. So they're just going to run continuously in recirc, so this will turn that function off or on. Along the right-hand side over here, I've got a couple of different features. It gets me to different screens. So we'll just kind of go through those. You got your manual toggle feature, where you can come through and you can manually toggle any of these functions off or on, and it'll bypass any of the sensors that are in place for that. If I next over, I can do the same thing with any of my fill heads. Another thing you'll see from both screens is that I can go to the inputs and outputs screen, which will give me anything that's actually made on the machine currently for any sort of diagnostics. So if I next over, it'll give me my expansion modules as well. So coming back to return to main, if I go to my filler setup, this is going to bring me to my option groups. I can go to anything that I'm looking for. So under indexing, it's going to be anything related to the indexing features. Right now I'm set to pin indexing. If I change this to star or to none, you can see anything that is not pertinent disappears. So I can also set my conveyor to run automatic or continuous here, and I can I can change my conveyor speed to run whatever speed I would need it to run during my cycles. So if I change my conveyor speeds, it'll also pop up and tell me that I have to adjust my pin indexing because I've changed my speeds. So if any of these functions as well, if I'm not sure what this is, I can just click on the screen itself, right on the function, and it'll give me a real world description of what that is. So if I have other functions available, I can next over. It'll give me all of this here as well. These all have the same pop-up descriptions. Under fill cycle, it's going to be able to allow me to set anything that I want to use during the fill cycle, so I can activate any fill heads or deactivate them. Same thing over on the next page. This gives me all of the same functions, all of the same information will pop up as well when I click on it if I'm not sure. The recirculating pump filler has the added feature of the fill pump speed percentage. So this is going to be where I'm going to set how fast do I want all of my fill pumps to turn. Under tank, it's going to give me a couple of options for supply hold, fill hold, buffer tank float delay timer. Supply hold is going to be set if I want to wait until my fill heads are all closed before I replenish the tank. And fill hold will not open the fill heads until the tank is completely filled. So these things help a lot if you have really critical fill level adjustments. Under head dive, this will give me some options. If I have a standard dive, which is going to come down, fill the containers, and dive back up. If I have bottom up, it'll come down all the way to the bottom. It'll start to fill, and then it'll start to raise up out of the containers following the product, which gives me my additional timers that are necessary for that. And again, more tips bubbles just in case. Returning to the main, I go to my fill head adjustment screen. This is going to be where I'll be able to set all of my timers for each individual fill head to stay open. It's all time-based. So I can set those by clicking on and entering a value. Or if I would like, I can just enter a value that I want to run across the board, and then I can sync all of my times. If I have additional fill heads that are activated, then I'll have additional screens as well that I can click through with little quick jumps. On the auto setup screen, this is going to take me here where I can run an ASU. So this is all explained in the manual as well, but essentially I would put a container under fill head 1. I would click on the toggle for a head 1 ASU. I would come here, I'd reset it, and I would push and hold this button until my bottle was filled where I wanted, and then I would let go, and then I just hit save ASU, and then I'll populate my time for me. I can also dive my heads if I have them, or use my locators from this screen as well. And I can just do all heads at one time as well if I would like. On the top right, I also have a pin indexing ASU, which is the same scenario, just for the indexing. I bring some containers in up against my entry pin after I have everything mechanically adjusted, and I hit start. It turns on my conveyor, opens my entry pin, moves everything to the exit pin, and then populates a time here. Once I hit save, that'll auto-populate my time over here, and then I'll be good to go. The next screen is going to be the recipe screen. Once I come over here, this will be where I'll be able to save up to 50 recipes. All I gotta do is click to whatever number recipe I would like, hit save for use later, and I can hit this as test 2, save now, and that saves it as test 2. And if I want to reload test 2 or test 1, I just hit load for use now, and that'll load the last test right back for me. Last page here is the clean in place setup. If I come here, this is where I'll set up everything for the clean in place. Again, I can dive, I can locate. All I'm going to do is set a time, how long I want my fill heads to stay closed, how long I want them open, and how many times I want it to repeat that. Then hit start, and then it'll roll through and clean the machine for you.